Hello, this is Mr. Carlin, and I'm going to talk to you about your AMI Day 2 factors and multiples, give you some additional help. You can also scan your QR codes on your assignments to take you to the links for extra help on our website. Now, numbers 1, 2, and 3, it's asking you to use any method to find the greatest common factor of each pair of numbers. Okay, greatest common factor. What is a factor? Factor is what we multiply to make those numbers. So we want to find common factors, or the biggest common factors of both pairs of numbers. So let's look at number 1. We have a pair of numbers, 8 and 24. Now, I think we've taught you 3 different ways on how to find greatest common factor. We've showed you using the division ladder, prime factorization, or just listing out all the factors. You get to decide which way you want to do it. Sometimes listing out the factors for smaller numbers is the easier way. Larger numbers, it's easier to do prime factorization and division ladder. I'm going to show you by using prime factorization for number 1. Prime factorization is breaking apart the numbers by their factors. We have 8 and 24. So let's do the prime factorization for 8. What can I multiply that makes 8? Well, we can get 2 and 4, and we're looking for prime numbers. Now, 2 could be broken apart into 1 and 2, but 2 is also a prime number. Prime numbers are numbers that only have factors of 1 and itself. So 2 is a prime number. 4, we could use 1 and 4, but 4 could also have 2 times 2. So it's what we call a composite number, and we can break it apart into 2 and 2. Remember, 2 is prime, so we circle those. So the prime factorization for 8 is 2 times 2 times 2. Now we can do the same thing with 24. I like to break things down. If they're even, break them down into halves and use 2's. So I'm going to use 2. 2 times 12 is 24. 2 is prime. 12 is composite, so I continue to break it down. I could break it down into 2, or I could use 3 and 4, but I'm going to use 2 and 6. 2 is prime. 6 is composite. I can break it down into 2 and 3. So my prime factorization for 24 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. I list out all the prime numbers that I circle. Okay. Now I'm going to find groups of prime numbers that they have in common, or that they share. So they share, when I list them like this, they share a group of 2, another prime group of 2, and another prime group of 2. Now notice 8 does not have 3 in its prime factorization, so I'm not going to circle 3. So my groups, I have one group of 2, another group of 2, and another group of 2, and I'm going to multiply those. When I multiply those, I get a common factor, or the biggest common factor, of 8. Let's look at number 4. There are also, up on these, there are other videos to show you on the website how to use division ladder if you choose to use division ladder, or listing out the factors. Let's look at number 4. This one is not about factors. Let's read it. It says, the table shows how often Miss Mertens plays the following sports. If she plays baseball and football on the first day of the month, what day will she play both of them again on the same day? So what this is saying is she's going to play baseball and football on day 1, and then every 8 days she'll be playing baseball again, and every 12 days she's going to be playing baseball or football again. So this is not a factor, but it is considered a multiple every 8. So in 8 days, baseball, and then 16 days, baseball, and then so on and so on. And we're doing the same thing for football every 12 days. So the first day, football, and then 12 more days, football, and then 12 more days, football. This is what we call an LCM problem, or a least common multiple problem. Now there are different ways that we can find LCM. We can use division ladder, we can use prime factorization. We have to do different things with prime factorization. We have to do different things with the division ladder, or we can list out the multiples. If you remember, multiples are just skip counting. I like that method the best. So every 8 days she's going to play baseball. So I'm going to skip count by 8s for baseball. 8, 16, 24. I could probably stop there because I can see a relationship between 24 and 12. So for baseball, 8, 16, and 24. We do the same thing for football. 12, 24, and if you notice, we have 24 now. We can stop. We could list on and on and on and on, but 24 is my smallest number that they have in common that they're both going to land on. So 24 is the number of days. Every 24 days is when she will be playing both sports. The last two problems, those are also least common multiple problems. Okay. Let's talk about how to use the division ladder. I'll do that for number 5. If you remember, a division ladder is an upside down division bracket. Looks like this. And we're going to put both of our numbers inside of the bracket. So we have 6 and 8. And we want to look to see what both of those can be divided by. Well, they're both even, or multiples of 2, so I can divide them by 2. When I do that, 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now, I can't go any further because 3 is prime, and 3 and 4 don't share a common factor other than 1. So I'm done as far as filling out my ladder. But I have to do something with these numbers to find the least common multiple, or LCM. So I'm going to put an L for LCM around the numbers on the outside. And if you remember from in class, when we have those numbers in the L, we need to multiply those factors. So we have 2 times 3 times 4. 2 times 3 is 6 times 4 is 24. So their least common multiple is 24. And you can do the same thing on number 6. If you have any questions, ask your teacher. See you later.